Hello and welcome to my home. I'm so happy to have you come and see my new home. It's finally ready to show. When I came and looked at this house for the first time, I walked through the door and it felt like my old house. It was a similar layout with the living room and the dining room beyond. And I thought, this might just work. I did treat this dining room a little bit differently. I have a leaf that goes in this table and I can set 6 people here for a dinner party. But I thought instead of making it so formal as a dining room, it would be better to treat this more like a library space. I have a lot of books and not as many bookshelves as I once did. I can sit here with my computer or some paperwork or just sit and talk with my friends, and it's a great space for that. The hutch cupboard I've treated more like a bookcase with some favorite books and lots of collections. I had to cull down a lot of my collections since this house is about half the size of my last house, but I kept a lot of my very favorite things. And I'm sure as I live here, more things will sneak in. I think one of the rooms that I was most excited about doing was the kitchen. I've never designed a kitchen from scratch before for myself, and this was a rare treat. I wanted it to feel different than my prior homes, and I wanted it to be much more modern and sleek, and I think that it is a great juxtaposition with my antiques. The cabinets are all from IKEA. I just love the functionality, and for the price point of this home, I think they're appropriate, but I did jazz them up with this great gold hardware, which I just love on these cabinets. I also love this island with the waterfall, and this great quartz that I've used is just exactly what I wanted. The lights, I wasn't sure I would like at first as much as I do, but they're very transitional feeling. And they're a nice juxtaposition between my antiques and the contemporary kitchen. A little bit on the industrial side, which makes them a little more casual, but I think they look great. The window treatment is to mask out a not so pretty view, but I wanted there to be as much light as possible, and I think that that worked out really well. I love that fabric, and I was able to shape the bottom of it to follow the pattern. This punch bowl is a family piece, and I have it filled with baby cups. These are all baby cups. Some of them are sterling, some of them are sterling silver plate, but they can be used as punch cups. I also love the fact that I had space in here to put this bookshelf. And on it, instead of books, I've got my beloved brown and white transferware of the aesthetic pattern and my white ironstone. My collection was much larger, but I had to cull this down as well. So I have most of my favorite pieces here. And I can still, they're handy so that if I need a picture, I have one. And it's right there. So these things do get used. These are collected from various places. Some of them came from my family, like this teapot and this vegetable dish, but the rest I've collected over the years from antique shops and flea markets and yard sales, and I just love the way they all look. I also like the fact that the family room is right off the kitchen. It's one big space without having the whole house be open. And I tend to live in this room. I have a skylight that we enlarged when we remodeled the house. And even on a rainy day, it feels like the sun's shining in here. I love my fireplace. In the winter, it's the first thing that happens in the morning when I walk out here. I turn it on, and Kira and I both love it. And she can often be seen lying in front of it, getting warm and staying cozy. The original fireplace in the house took up this entire wall. I'm not kidding. It was brick from floor to ceiling, from door to door, and it was overwhelming and not very pretty at all. The other thing that was a problem with that fireplace is that it was sinking the house in the middle. This house is a slab, and the sheer weight of all that brick just was sinking in the middle. The other benefit of taking down the fireplace was that on the other side of this wall is my master bath. The hearth was in the master bath and took up 9 square feet. We'll get to that part. I needed a place to store my beloved books and various collections, and a local carpenter did those for me, and the cabinets below as well, so that they would fit in here. But I really had this envisioned when I built the fireplace, so that this wall would be strong without having to have the TV above the fireplace. I think one of my favorite things that made me happiest when I first did it, and I felt like I was finally moving in, was when I hung this gallery wall. There's lots of pictures of places that are favorites of mine. There's some of my photographs. Some of the photographs tell stories about my daughter, and I just really enjoy the way this wall turned out. I'm sure I'll be adding 1 or 2 photographs in the future as well. In the corner is a hutch cupboard. This hutch cupboard is passed down in my family to the oldest daughter in each family, and that would be me, since I have 2 brothers. And inside, instead of having dishes or anything, I have various parts of my collection, some old stoneware and pottery, also some small baskets, I love baskets, and some lovely patinaed brass candlesticks that some were in my family, some I collected over the years. I just love little collections. Would you like to see the master bath? This is the hallway that goes back to the bathrooms and the bedrooms. In my clients' homes, this is a great place to put family photos, but in my house I decided to put some of my artwork since there aren't a lot of walls. This piece is a French dough bowl that I think looks like a piece of African sculpture, especially since it's hung on this wall. At the end of the hall is a piece of sculpture that I actually did when I was in school. This is the master bath. This is where the back of the hearth was. So here's 9 square feet that I gained, and I have this fabulous rain shower that is adjacent to the tub, and that area becomes a wet room. I really enjoy this bathroom, and I think when people come and visit me that it's one of their favorites. I especially enjoy that we took the ceiling up in here, up to the eaves, and I am crazy about this chandelier. I just had to have it. I also have this great mirror from Europhase that changes. There used to be a very small window here, and that had to go. I just thought it was important to get as much light in here as possible, and I found these glass blocks at a salvage yard, and I was very excited to find them. They were not the wavy kind that I don't particularly care for, and amazingly enough, the pattern in the glass picks up on the pattern in my tile floor. I think the vanity height is great too. It's hanging on the wall. It's really comfortable for me to wash my face at night and in the morning. I also have some floor space underneath where I store my towels. master bath is also adjacent and connected to the master bedroom. This master bedroom originally had two very narrow clear-story windows on that wall and this wall, and it made it very hard to imagine how to place furniture in here. So I closed them up, the one on this wall, and enlarged the one on this. And I like getting this light in the morning. It helps wake me up. But I'm very pleased with the way this bedroom turned out. It's nice and airy and peaceful and calming, and turned out the way I wanted it to. I also did a lot of flipping of closets so that I could make better use of closet space in this house. One of these two closet doors were into the bedroom that you will see next, but now I can open up all the doors and there are all my clothes and accessories right there. Guest room has become my home office, and I love this space. I don't necessarily come in here to do a lot of work, but it makes me feel good to come in here. I especially like the collection of pillows from all over, the Keelan rugs on the floor, the colors. It just is a feel-good space to me. And I love the fact that I enlarged the window in this room as well and took another window out off that wall, because I can sit at that desk and work and be able to look out the window and enjoy daylight and the trees and the weather and the sunshine. But I think this room has a very eclectic, warm feel, like the rest of my house, and it makes me happy. The guest bath is actually a Jack and Jill, and you walk through here. It's a small space, but it's very functional, and I especially love how this countertop turned out. It's a piece of quartzite, and I was able to find a remnant and use it, and I just think it's really pretty and ties all the colors together. Again, I did not want to block out all the light, so I used a cafe-style curtain in here, just for some additional privacy. And I think the shower turned out especially well too. And it also leads into the other guest room, which is primarily what this room is used for. Everything in this room came from my old house. There's virtually nothing new except for my bed in my master, but everything here, I love this 4-poster bed, even though it's a full size, but the table came from my grandmother's house, the bench was from Williamsburg, and the dresser on the other side of the bed that I'm using as a bedside table was my dresser as I was growing up. And I think it has a nice, comfortable feel. It's probably the most antique-y looking room in my house. Well, this is my house, and I'm so glad you could stop by and visit. I'm anxious to show you more details in the weeks coming. I'm very pleased with how the house turned out. I never expected to take it down to the studs and start from scratch, but that's what happened. And Kira and I have been very happy here, haven't we? Yes. So come back and see me again.